this is the place to be and learn about movies to see. Coming up next on Carolina People. Good morning. Welcome to Carolina People. This morning we're at the South Carolina Civil War Museum, housed here in the Myrtle Beach Indoor Shooting Range. We're focused on the entertainment pages of the Myrtle Beach Herald, and we're visiting with our entertainment reporter, Christopher Huff. Good morning.
Morning, Greg. Good morning.
Is it Chris or Christopher?
Chris is fine.
I always like to say Chris, but I see in print it goes out as Christopher.
Christopher's on the birth certificate, but
yes.
You know, you can't stop people from saying Chris. If I can keep them from saying Chrissy, we're fine.
How about this Civil War Museum? This place is amazing.
It's wonderful. I love all this old stuff, all the old firearms and stuff. Really.
Have you been through
really
here?
Cool.
Yeah.
I've looked through here a couple times. It's pretty nice.
They normally don't have too many folks in here at 7 a.m., but it's great they've let us in that shooting range. They are going at it early in the morning.
Oh, yeah.
This is amazing. You
like
ever fired a gun?
Yeah. Oh, yes. I fired guns several times. I had expert rankings in the military. So.
Is that right? Mm-hmm. You were in the military, Chris?
I did the Army for the minimum amount of time I could do the Army.
I don't know if that's good or bad.
And then I left and grew my hair long.
Yeah, that's right. Viewers can't see. You've got a little more than just what we're seeing here in the screenshot there. Is that something had you always worn your hair long before the Army?
Pretty much. Something my mother always encouraged me to have my hair long. You know, she wanted me to get my ear pierced. Yeah, she was really kind of a hippie one.
You're
yes,
kidding.
She did.
Right?
It took me until I was 18 to finally get up my own courage to get my ear pierced. And it comes and goes. The hole I got when I was 18 never closes.
Right.
And you know. Other holes have come and gone, but that one I can always put an earring in whenever I remember to put an earring in.
That's amazing, Chris. Was your dad supportive of this?
No, not really.
Not as much
as
your mom.
But he didn't object.
Yeah,
so,
he didn't stop your mom. I love it. That's amazing. That's something we ought to think about doing a little highlight on that, how Chris became the entertainment reporter for the Herald. You know, your background there, because you've got a tremendous background in journalism.
Yeah, I came into it kind of in a sideways direction. I first started going to a local community college. I was taking care of my grandmother. She couldn't take care of herself when my grandfather died, so I moved in with her. I started taking classes at a local community college, and I was just...
That's not here in the area?
No, this is back up in Weirton, West Virginia.
Okay, sure. Thanks.
And I was taking classes at West Virginia Northern Community College, and I was taking care of her and taking whatever classes. I was kind of focusing on computers with the idea that I can get a computer job and write in my spare time. And one day after some many years, too many years at West Virginia Northern, I found out that I was running out of classes to take.
Oh boy, yeah.
And I didn't know what I was going to do, and I actually graduated with 2 Associate of Arts degrees. Slightly different requirements, but they're both liberal arts, Associate of Arts, Associate of Science, and liberal arts.
Right.
And then, so I'm looking around what I wanted to do, and computers was good for me, and it's an easy thing for me, but at the time, I was kind of scared to do it because I'd get burnt out on computers.
Sure, of course.
You go through all this stuff, and I was doing programming classes, and I'd get to a point where I just couldn't really think about it anymore.
Right.
And I really wanted to write, so I decided that I could study journalism and get paid to write, and then write in my spare time.
Sure.
So I went to West Liberty State College in West Liberty, West Virginia, just a little bit north of Wheeling.
Sure.
And south of Weirton, so it wasn't too far away from where I was.
Easy drive.
And took communications, where I got a great degree. I really love it because I had radio training, I had TV training, and I specialized in print journalism, so I had a great teacher, William Hanna. He just was a real great thing, and he really brought, I became to love journalism. I really came into it sideways because I wasn't expecting to enjoy it as much as I did.
Right.
And I was up in that area for a long time. I was a reporter for the Wheeling Intelligencer for 3 years.
That's a daily paper up there?
Yes, it's a daily paper. I was actually covering an entire county across the river, because we're on the Ohio River there. Okay. I was covering Steubenville and Jefferson County, which is about the size of Horry County.
Horry County.
And
Excuse me, that's
sorry.
right. Yeah, my God, dude.
And basically I was running ragged doing that for 3 years. Cops, courts, city, business.
Cops, courts, city, and business.
Everything.
I don't think I knew that.
I was really covering everything. I was the reporter for that county and the city of Steubenville. So that kept me busy. And then opportunity back in Weirton, right across the river, came up to be city editor. And,
is that right? You were the city editor for Weirton?
Yes, Weirton Daily Times.
Okay, great.
And which is owned by the same people as own the Intelligencer, but so it was kind of a...
Is that a family
Ogden
Press out of Utah?
Yeah. No. This is Ogden News Group, I think they call themselves now.
Mm-hmm.
I 3 years as city editor there. I had my own op-ed column, The Cutting Edge.
It's called The Cutting Edge. That's a great name for a column, The Cutting Edge.
And I won 2 journalism awards up there. I won one for a column, No One Here Gets Out Alive.
No One Here Gets Out Alive. That doesn't sound good.
Well, it was a lot of the health food scares, and every week people come out with, oh, this food's bad for you, it'll cause this, and it was basically a parody of that, where I came out and said, well, scientists have found the leading cause of death, living. And it was all about, like, if you worry about this stuff too much, you really can't live. And one of my favorite lines from it was, I said, like, there are people out there who are trying to survive on macrobiotic yogurt and water, but they're really concerned about the water because it's been found to be the leading cause of drowning. And I also won a Business and Labor Award coverage for a story I did.
This is from the West Virginia Press Association.
Yes, correct.
Sure.
And both were first place awards. This one was for Business and Labor during the whole tariff situation with Chinese steel dumping and all that stuff. And we lived in a steel town, obviously. And
Weirton is a steel town?
Oh, yes. Very strong steel town. Well, it's kind of dead now. It tried to survive. You still have family in
Weirton, though, right?
Yes, I still have family in Weirton. Still, my mom, dad, sister, niece, they're still up there.
Do they come down often to visit?
Oh, yeah. That's kind of how I started coming down here.
Is that right? Sure.
Yes.
So family have been coming down here for a while.
I've been coming down here since at least 4. That's the earliest I can remember. I can remember staying at the Inn at Four Seasons up on the north end of Ocean Boulevard.
Sure.
And having to cross the road to get to the beach and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Going to Mammy's Kitchen and...
you mean down near the Pavilion?
Yes.
Yeah,
and
sure.
The Pavilion and all that stuff. The old Myrtle Square Mall.
Oh, yeah, the big clock.
Oh, I love the big clock.
Yeah.
I miss that big clock. They really should have tried to save that somehow.
Yeah, I wonder if they did. I bet they've got it holed up somewhere.
They probably got it somewhere. Yeah.
I had to check with somebody over there.
But, and I always knew I wanted to live. I always loved Myrtle Beach.
Coming to the beach,
feel the air. And so I did 3 years at the Weirton Daily Times.
Right.
And between the weather and the filling of my life, I just said, I'm going.
There's no beaches in West Virginia.
There's no beaches in West Virginia. And the year I left, 2003, June 3rd, I was still wearing a winter coat.
On bull.
No, I was.
Are you
serious?
It was
a very bad winter, and it was
God.
The nights were very cold still, and it was just a bad. And I was like, it warmed up shortly after my birthday is June 4th.
Right.
And it warmed up shortly thereafter. I never had a nice birthday up there. Anyway.
So we just celebrated your birthday last week.
Yeah. 37 now.
Is that right? Golly, Chris. Well, you have kept your youth. That's tremendous. What is that around your neck, by the way?
Oh, this is a Navajo medicine wheel. It's made out of porcupine quill. It's hand woven.
Quill? You're kidding.
It's in traditional. Yes, it's traditional manner. It's one of their. It's kind of a symbol of the 4 winds is what it represents, and the 4 directions.
The 4 winds.
It's a reminder that we're all part of the earth and the environment, and everything is in balance, and we have to, try to be as nice to the earth. And
that's great. Yeah. I didn't know that. I mean, obviously, I want to be in balance. That's very important,
Yes.
particularly at 7 a.m. on a Wednesday, right here in the middle of the week.
Yes.
Balance, yeah. Of course, you had a couple of great pieces for viewers who've got to get off to work now or just get out of the house. They can check you online at myrtlebeachherald.com. Obviously, if they visited
That's right.
today, they would see the two pieces from last week, your movie review as well as your places to be. Movies to see, places to be.
Just click on those links down on the menu on your left-hand side, and they'll find it.
And they've got a lot of your past ones, even back to the end of last year. I mean, it goes back, I think, right now to December of 06. So there's a lot in there. But, of course, they can scroll back and get everything you've done over the last, they can just click on some keywords there. Get all that stuff in there. The Internet is a magnificent vehicle to track down information, isn't it?
Oh, it's really changed the world.
It has. It has. You know, it's fascinating when we think about how it does change. Does it provide some good information for you when you're doing research, getting ready for the movies?
When I write my columns, I look up the movie website. I look up the Internet Movie Database.
Good.
They always have a good list of the script and the director, and you can click on the links to move on to, like, you know, if you want to know what else did this actor do.
Sure.
What was the name of that movie he starred in? I thought he was in that movie. Can I look that up? And there's 3 or 4 different ways. You can search by just about any keyword you can think of for movies.
Sure.
And even movies that are not in production yet, so you can really kind of get a glimpse of what's coming out.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Great, good. So you're one of the few movie critics probably in the Carolinas here, if not the only one.
As far as I can tell, I may be the only one. I haven't found any others yet.
Right.
Might even be farther than that.
Yeah,
but,
I wonder why more places, more daily or weekly newspapers don't have movie critics. Because, of course, you've got a local perspective here. You've been in the Myrtle Beach area or in the Carolinas a long time, coming here a long time. There is a local perspective to movies.
Well, that's what I really try to bring, because if you look at it, you get... I mean, Sony got in trouble for this just a year or so ago, where they had a fake critic out there hyping up their movies.
Oh, no.
And stuff like that. So you get movie insiders. You get these people who either are related in the industry so closely, or they want to be in the industry, so they're trying to be artsy and politically correct to the movie industry.
Sure.
So they do things. You know, I kind of always wanted to be a movie critic. Back, when I was 7 years old,
Sure.
and Siskel and Ebert panned Star Wars, a movie that changed the industry, a good, fun movie, whether you like science fiction or not.
They didn't give it a positive...
they 2 thumbs down.
No way. Siskel and Ebert gave 2 thumbs down to Star Wars?
Yes.
To the original one, 30 years ago.
That's
when you were
right.
7. That's amazing.
Yep. And ever since then, I've always watched these critics, how, like, the good movies, the Die Hards, we got Die Hard, Live Free, Die Hard coming out again. People are starting to try to, it's going to be a fun movie.
Yeah.
It may not be Casablanca. It may not be Gone with the Wind or it's going to be or The Godfather. But it's going to be a good, fun movie to go see and enjoy. And you go see some of these movies, and the Academy Awards movies that the critics all play up are like, that's a nice movie, but it's really kind of depressing. I don't really want to know about this. Or
Life is beautiful. Right.
I go to movies to escape life. I want to release. I want to escape. So I try to look at the movies and put in my review a more everyday man.
Sure.
Now, I'm a big geek. I'm a sci-fi fan. I'm a geek.
Are you a sci-fi fan? Yeah.
I just came back from the Con Carolinas in Charlotte a couple weekends ago.
What is that? The Con Carolinas?
It's a big sci-fi convention. There's about, I think, close to 700 people there. They had some big guests, a lot of authors, some of the crew, the cast from the Battlestar Galactica TV show.
Sure.
A lot of role-playing games, Dungeons and Dragons stuff. A lot of
Dungeons and Dragons. Yeah. Are you still playing D&D?
Yeah, I still play D&D.
Is that right? It's still around? Yeah.
Every weekend.
Oh, come on. This weekend you'll be playing D&D.
This Sunday.
Last weekend. Is that right? Where do you play normally?
I have a friend's house.
Right. Sure.
And I play some other games, trading card games, Magic, which is like Yu-Gi-Oh or Pokemon, like some of the kids play, but not just little more adult-based, I guess you could say. And I play that up at a place, Apocalypse Comics, up in Little River.
So you got a pretty creative mind there, you think of yourself, Chris. Yeah, that's fascinating. Yeah. How about some favorite movies for you, without divulging too much about your inside track? Or do you have any? Obviously, you must have some favorites.
Well, the Star Wars series I love. The Star Wars movies are great.
Yeah.
Kill Bill movies.
Kill Bill.
The Quentin Tarantino's Samurai Sword Girl movies. The Kung Fu movies like Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon were great.
Right.
Casablanca. A lot of the film are Maltese Falcon. Love Humphrey Bogart. You know, love those old movies. The old Abbott and Costello movies. I grew up watching those.
Did you really? Yeah.
Sunday mornings at 10 a.m. They used to always replay them. You know, on the. It became Fox 53 out of Pittsburgh, but before then it was
PGH, yeah.
Yes, that's it, PGH. And they used to always play them. So every, all the, who's on first, what's on second.
Sure, yeah. Any chick flicks you like?
Chick flicks, When Harry Met Sally I liked.
Not too many really stand out.
What was the one that just came out with Meg Ryan and the younger kid?
Golly, hate to put you on the spot there, Chris. It's so tough. It's early on a Wednesday morning. I know you're up late normally at night, so it's tough to think
I can't
midweek.
think of that. But I really enjoy a lot of different movies.
Sure.
I go through.
Which movie? Of course, you can go to lots of movie theaters. Is there we better not highlight. There's so many great movie theaters up and down the Strand, and obviously for our viewers in the PD in southeastern North Carolina, or viewers who are watching here on the web at CarolinaPeople.com, there's a great opportunity to just check out. It's good to get out and see movies, isn't it?
Oh yes, it's a great night still. There's. A lot of people are saying, "Oh, we can just wait for the DVD and stuff," but there's nothing like going into that theater and seeing the movie.
Now, why is that? What's so special about it?
I think it goes way back. It's something deep in our subconscious. Aristotle talked about the shadow plays. What was that play to? I can't remember. But back in ancient Greece, they talked about the shadow plays and entering the cave of imagination and stuff like that. And it resounds with you.
How about people who are making too much noise or doing crazy stuff in a theater where in a home environment you can just keep it quiet and focus?
I mean, there's an advantage to that. And you can watch the movie over again or rewind a part. But
you love that open, the TMX and everything.
Oh, sure. And the new digital cameras and the new technologies they have. Just a real. There's something about seeing the movie, Yeah. I can't afford one of those big 52-inch screens.
No, sure, of course not. That's right, yeah.
I still go to the theaters. I love it. It's just an experience. It's something traditional that's gone back thousands of years.
That's great. How do you come up with some of your topics for places to be? You do a different place, obviously Hooters last week. I know you've been to a lot of fascinating places recently. It's really gotten you up and down the Strand.
Well, I do try to balance it out and go up and down the Strand as best I can.
It's the Myrtle Beach Herald,
And I try to be aware of that where I'm going because I live in North Myrtle Beach.
Oh yeah.
So it's a lot. It's real easy to say, I'll just go out to this place, but I don't want to be unduly fair because I want to get down to Mills. I was down
Merle's Inlet.
Down in Merle's Inlet for Suck Bang Blow, or I try to hit. Some places on the stop I hit Spencer's Grill. A lot of places it's when I'm out cruising on a Saturday or Sunday. I'm looking for something different, just something that strikes me.
You had that one recently that's across from J. Edwards up there near the Myrtle Beach car wash. Can't remember the name of the place that you highlighted near Bojangles. And what was the name of the place? You had it during Bike Week or around Bike Week. The Barrel.
The Barrel.
The Barrel.
The Barrel was a wonderful little
place.
find.
Yeah.
Oh, I rolled in there. I was hungry. I'd just gone to the flea market down on Surfside. I was checking out all the bike stuff for Harley Week that was going on, and I was rolling up, and I rolled in there, and they were so friendly and wonderful.
Great. It's a great place.
Oh, it was a great place to go.
Places to be. I love it. And movies to see. How'd you come up with those titles? Those are brilliant.
Well, the first column, I was writing a sample.
Right, sure.
To submit to the Herald.
Yeah.
And I was writing my first column actually that was going to run, and I got to the very end, and I was saying, And I said, like, that's one of my favorite places to be.
Right.
And that just stuck me. I was like, well, if we take places to be, you're not limited into doing a nightclub. You're not limited to doing a sports bar. You can do anything. Since I've done this column, I've done the Myrtle Beach Museum.
Oh, yeah.
I've done Ripley's Aquarium.
Right.
East of Chicago Pizza.
I love it. I ate there
Arcade.
last night. Yeah.
I've done little restaurants like Villa Roma.
Villa Romana is very
Villa
special.
Romana,
The Italian restaurant of the year. Yeah.
I did. I did Hooters last week.
Hooters last week. We actually talked about you on Monday with Rob Warren, who Hooters is one of the big sponsors of his golf tournament this Saturday out at Man o' War at 2 o'clock to raise money for the Myrtle Beach Coaches Association, and of course Coastal Carolina Athletics and the V Foundation. And we were talking about your trip from Weirton, West Virginia, right to the Hooters on 38th Avenue, and it was exactly, I think, 700 miles on your tripometer. You talked about it in your column last week, so it was great to have it handy.
Yeah, it was before I decided to move down here. I came down to do a little recon work and check around and feel around with some of the job situations and apartments and stuff like that. And I had me and a friend rode down all in one day, long marathon, 13-hour ride, and we rolled into 501, and we turned, down on left
Kings Highway.
Down on Kings Highway, and we were looking. We're hungry. It's late. Where can we go? And there was Hooters. I pulled into the parking lot right in front of the door, basically, and my odometer just went click.
Wow, 700 miles, exactly.
700 miles to Hooters. It sounds like a
home
great
to
road
Hooters.
trip
That sounds
movie,
like a book. Yeah, from home to Hooters. Yeah, that does. And you're working on a book, by the way.
Yeah, I'm working on an urban fantasy novel.
Urban fantasy? What is that? I can think of some
that's
fantasies.
That's a new term.
Yeah.
it's a new terminology. Basically, it's to describe the recent trend toward magic in the modern world. If you saw Buffy the Vampire Slayer,
I saw that show, on the WB.
Highlander, or anything where they have magic and vampires or anything in the modern world, you're starting to call it urban fantasy.
Interesting.
And mine is actually, I'm set here in Myrtle Beach, and it's kind of based on the idea of in-between places where in Celtic mythology, like the land of summer twilight of elves and fairies, to get to it you have to go to in-between places like fences, hedgerows. The land of summer twilight being an in-between place.
Yeah.
The Strand is one big giant in-between place between the ocean and the continent. So not to give too much away, but that's one of the key points in the novel. And
it's a novel, yes.
Yes.
Have you come up with a title yet?
Yeah, I got a title I've been working with. Everyone seems to like it. Demons, Gods, and Tequila.
Demons, Gods, and Tequila.
Yes.
You haven't written about that yet, obviously, in places to be or movies to see, but someday it could be just that.
I'm hoping.
Demons, Gods, and Tequila. Wow. That in and of itself would get folks to pick it up.
Yeah, it's basically based on a Native American medicine woman who's kind of burnt out, and she's kind of given up her magic, but when a demon comes to Myrtle Beach to kind of take it over and use it for her special ritual, she's the only one left who can really save the Strand.
That is fabulous. Listen up. That's very interesting. If you're not doing the places to be and movies to see, Chris, what are you doing during the day?
Well, full-time job is I work at Wolf Creek Gallery. It's Native American art, jewelry, and a lot of wildlife art.
Right.
Nature art. We got Mill Creek Studios.
Sure.
Eagle sculptures, wolf sculptures. The Trail of Painted Ponies is a big collector's item.
And you're their webmaster there.
And I'm their webmaster. I take the pictures and write the descriptions and put the items on the website and take the orders and deal with the internet customers.
Sure. That's tremendous. Chris, I'm sorry we've run out of time. Thanks so much for being with us this morning.
That's great.
Absolutely. Stay tuned to more Carolina People with Chris Huff coming up next. Been coming here for 33 years. Think of that, 33 years, since age 4. Always knew he wanted to live here. Always knew he wanted to live here. Whether you think you'll pick up his urban fantasy, Demons, Gods, and Tequila when it comes out and hits area bookstores or not, you should pick up a copy of the Myrtle Beach Herald. His tremendous writing style. It's a very unique writing style, but he talks about it as very common sense, easy to follow when he talks about movies to see, also places to be. A tremendous coverage. You heard him talk about some of the very interesting and exciting places from as far down as Suck Bang Blow all the way up to the state line. There's a lot of great places to be here in the area. There's also great movies to see, whether you like to sit at home or like to get out to the movie theater. There's a great perspective. You can get it in the Myrtle Beach Herald. Pick up a copy today or go online to myrtlebeachherald.com.